So Paul and I are here with Providence Democratic Socialists, and we are working in partnership with the George Wiley Center to fight against National Grid and their rate hikes. Our ultimate goal is public utilities, but our immediate goal is to stop the shutoffs and reverse the 53% increase for the people of Rhode Island.
Right. So that's our absolute first goal. Our more medium-term goal is working alongside George Wiley Center to bring back PIP. I think it's the percentage of income payment plan.
Right.
It's the cost of utilities, or the billing for electric and gas utilities would be connected to a household's income rather than just an arbitrary rate set by National Grid.
Right.
And it's a program that used to exist in Rhode Island, but because of deregulation was cut out, and we're trying to bring that back.
Right.
I think with the recent power outages from the windstorm, and by the way, there are still, as of yesterday, close to 1,000 people still without power.
Right.
I think that really points to the issue that National Grid is causing in the state, and public utilities often in other states are cheaper, obviously, and they work better. They have fewer shutoffs, fewer power outages, and it just seems like a win-win situation for the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, access to energy or access to utilities is a fundamental human right, and so people shouldn't be afraid of having their heat or electricity cut off because they're not able to pay. I mean, we know that it's one reform and a bunch of different things that need to be fixed in the state.
And we're still looking for people to get involved. This affects all of us. So if you want to learn more about our campaign, it's nationalizegrid.org. And you can check it out. You can sign up for a working group, and you can meet us at our next get-together.
And also tell us your story. On nationalizegrid.org, there's a form that if you've been affected by National Grid hikes, or if you've had your utilities shut off, or if you've had any kind of issue whatsoever with National Grid, you can submit your story either anonymously or you can put your name on it, and that'll help us get an understanding of how deep does this go and how it affects Rhode Island residents.
I mean, I think that's part of the reason why our group democratically picked this to be our campaign, is because this affects everyone.
Right.
And no one wants a 53% rate increase. And like Paul said, utilities is a fundamental human right.
We're taking this, so obviously we're Providence Democratic Socialists of America. All of our analyses are based off of socialism, and we believe firmly, and we know that socialism is a better alternative. Now, it may not be necessarily the absolute best alternative, but it is 1,000 times better than what we currently have as a system today.
Yeah.
And part of that is, just like Alex said, we already have socialist, or at least social democratic programs that work here in the United States. I mean, just from a simple day-to-day perspective, we have firefighters, we have public utilities for water, and those work decently well. I mean, they benefit the average person. Public utilities is just one more step in that direction. It's giving people the ability to not have to worry about certain things they need on a day-to-day basis to be productive people in a society. And that's kind of what we're driving at here. And this is all based off of a fundamentally socialist background. And so the work that we're doing today is, in my opinion, one of the absolute most basic things that we can work on is getting people to the point where they don't have to worry about tomorrow if their electricity is about to be shut off, or if their gas is going to be shut off, so that they can work on building power as workers, so they can work on gaining what they need in order to survive as a human being in our current society.
That's good.
Yeah. And so, and also environmentalism.
Yes, of course.
So another part of we know that, so our main focus is obviously economic, right? So we're socialist. It's where we really base our analysis, right? But we are absolutely 100% on board with the environmentalists' approach towards National Grid. We know that there has been some crazy messed up stuff that's happened with the Invenergy, with Burrillville,
Right.
with a bunch of other disasters.
Providence.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
No, South Providence, and these environmental issues very often affect the people who are at the quote-unquote bottom of the ladder. The people of color, neighborhoods that are lower in income. It disproportionately affects them versus the people that are on, let's say, the east side of Providence, or the people who are in the top 1% of the tax bracket, right?
Yeah.
And so that's part of it too. This is not an either or. We want to work with environmental groups with the understanding that everything comes back to economics. Everything comes back to having people be able to, like I said, wake up in the morning without worrying if their electricity is going to be shut off.
Right.
And adding on to that, not having to worry whether or not their house is going to blow up because of a natural gas leak, or their kids becoming sick based off of the toxins that are being released from these facilities. We stand in solidarity with No LNG.
Nice.
We stand in solidarity with the other. We stand in solidarity with FANG. We stand in solidarity with all the groups that are actively doing the work fighting against National Grid from a more environmental perspective, and we want to work with them. So
we need them.
Yes, we need them. So come join us.
All right.
Like, work with us. We're open arms with you here.
Yeah, and you don't have to become a member, but we wish
We
you
would
would.
like for you to-
Part of my draw to the Providence Democratic Socialists is the fact that it's sort of a big tent
Yeah.
organization, and we are willing to work with all community organizations. We're willing to hear different perspectives, and I think what makes us different than other socialist or leftist organizations is that we understand the need to work within the current system, meaning we know that for some of the things that we want to get done, some of the goals, we need to work with the State House, and we need to have comrades and allies in the State House and get some legislation passed.
Sure.